19th. I'm going to call our December regular meeting to order. If everybody will stand for the prayer and the pledge. Commissioner Pitt, will you say the prayer?
Let's pray together. Father, we love you. We honor you. Lord, we come before you tonight. Just ask for your guidance and leading on everything that comes before us. Every issue we face, whether it's a mission as a city. We thank you for workers here. We give you praise for it in Jesus' name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible.
Yeah, additions or deletions to the
I did have a brief conversation with the city attorney regarding the organizational portion of the meeting, and the historical purpose of the attorney has been to assign the chair for that mayor election and then turn it back to whoever's elected. Other than that, changes or deviation. Work discussion on this when it was first reading, and the city was made to consider an alternative of limiting the area to just the 27 quarter. So you've got both versions, whichever one you choose. If you choose to adopt either, would be your choice. But that's the only difference between the two.
Okay, Mr. City Attorney, you want to take for it this time?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good evening, everybody. Section 3.04 of the Charter states that during the first regular meeting in December of a general election year, the City Commission shall appoint a mayor and vice mayor by a majority vote. So in a moment, I will open up nominations and how it will work. Vote if we have a majority, we'll select majority for each position. So at this point in time, I will now open up nominations for the position of mayor.
I nominate Jimmy Pittman for mayor.
We have a nomination for Mr. Pittman. At this point, we'll call for a vote.
Okay. I vote Jimmy Pittman.
Okay.
Yay.
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 Yeah.
Yay. Okay. That's 5. Oh, a nay. Excuse me. Okay. We have a vote of 4 yay, 1 nay. That nomination passes. We congratulate Mr. Mayor. At this point in time, I will now open nominations for the position of vice mayor.
Thompson.
Once again, we have a vote of 4 yay, 1 nay, and that nomination passes.
Excuse me, who voted nay? Okay.
At this point in time, we have designated our mayor and our vice mayor. I will now turn the agenda back over to Mr. Pittman to continue on.
All right, we'll move forward with the
item on the agenda, which is public comments at this time. And anyone from the public is welcome to speak on the item on the agenda or something that concerns you about the city. Motion by Gardner, second by Hines. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Go over the changes.
At this point, listening to the discussion at the workshop, not workshop, but at the first reading, there was some consideration for considering limiting the application of this change to along and adjacent to US 27 commercial quarter that was read at the first reading, which did not include those last few words that I just so it's the commission's choice to hold a public hearing and then consider action on this, and this would be the final action if you so choose.
All right, well, let's go ahead and I'll read this on the background ordinance 2022-11 amendments. The Clewiston Code of Ordinance, Chapter 102, Site Design and Improvement Standards, Article 2, Off-Street Parking and Loading Regulations. Created on November 14th, 2022 by a vote of 3-0. Board members Mickey McGahee and Carolina Benencourt were the City Commission approved the first reading of November 21st, 2022 with a vote of 5-0 with any recommendations or amendments to be discussed at the second reading. 22-11. Okay, seeing none. Board discussion.
This alternative, was this a recommendation by you, Brad?
We can from staff perspective, I've discussed practice, and we're fine with it either way. I think it was more generated by comments at the commission level on whether you wanted to apply it everywhere or not. I think Commissioner Pittman might have, or Mayor Pittman has brought it up at
On our corridor, and that's where the service between buildings would need to be more than, say, back on Ventura. I figured if we may want to just make it the corridor now, or we can keep it like it is. And
that language limit us if development starts to spur in a newer area,
Well,
say out by the
I think the distinction I could see is on as the mayor just pointed out, when you go on some of the side streets, traffic is less of an issue getting in and out of the streets, and so connectivity is probably less of a concern. And also there you're contending with smaller lot sizes, which might be impactful. So as we just stated, in the divided median sections and having to do U-turns, and it creates more traffic hazards than if they just connect and go from parking lot to parking lot. But pedestrians, golf carts, bicycles, all of the different modes of transportation. But we could support it in all of the residential areas because it only applies to commercial, but I think it is logical to say that it's less of a concern when you get more than a block away from 27.
Further development in other areas.
It's possible, particularly with smaller lot sizes. Also, was pointed out, you could amend it later if you like what you see and what develops. It could be expanded to any additional areas within town. It would be challenging to apply it everywhere and then back up. And that would probably not be as easy as, because you may have somebody that's already done it if you chose to want to back off or somewhere. So that's all I have.
Second.
Okay, a motion by Highslope, second by Thompson. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I didn't declare it closed, though. I declared the public hearing closed. And then just voted, so 5-0 it passed. All right. Move on to our resolutions. Resolution 2022.
When we're going to be bringing forward some of these larger development proposals that have been submitted for review. This particular ordinance provision is timely because it will be impactful for those that, because they are along the court.
While we're talking about order, is just came up in a discussion this week. And, do we allow metal buildings now in our new 27 corridor? Past
I do
couple
not
months?
believe it will build. As I recall, Travis shared with me there was some years ago, some of you may have been engaged with, where certain types of metal structures, I call them old Quonset hut design, were prohibited.
Property now. Hate to see it fill up with these still buildings.
Yeah, well,
Some of them look nice, but
we'll get
Allow-
some clarity on that, but I do not believe that building, for example, it would require masonry finish or anything of that nature.
Because it wasn't allowed.
Whatever is in force is still there. Which point's well taken about quarter. We don't want it to be just warehouse buildings. In the commercial zone. Industrial, obviously, is different.
okay, resolution number 2022-107, resolution that designates the mayor, city manager, city clerk, and finance director as author. Motion to approve. Highslope. And second by Gardner. Any further discussion? Favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, resolution 2000, December 15th, 2022, and authorizes the purchase from the Peterbilt store of 3 solid waste trucks in the amount of $982,209. And as you was in packet, this was a budgeted item and was being planned on, that's through borrowing.
If you've got any questions, or the director of the equipment purchases recommended.
See, we shop the interest rate, we shop the vehicle.
It's a contract. It's,
Are they ready or
yeah, the two most needy, if you want to comment.
Yeah, we'll
on that,
have
they don't pre-build those.
just the frames? You know, you can't just buy the frame and then you got to buy everything else to put on it. I just want to make sure
the sales guy told me the front loader and the side loader probably be ready by February, which is
Motion by Gardner, second by Highslow. My only question, obviously, this being an enterprise fund, it needs to pay for itself, so.
we worked that budget out to cover ourselves. Plus, our finance director did work it out where we're going to be putting $50,000 a year away for trucks.
Okay.
Yes.
I believe this rate quote is within the estimate you used for the budget, Sherry. Is that correct? So it's very close.
Okay, any further discussion?
Hey, thank you, guys. I know it's tough.
In terms of a new one, it's been
Well, our commercial loader's 1991, and it's the only one we got.
other were used that we replaced.
And the used one is down as we speak. So we do have a rental. And we have been spending money on rentals.
And we'll keep those as backups to the
Yes.
extent we need backups, and they'll hopefully last as backups rather than everyday use.
Good thing about Bill.
I just hate you.
Yeah.
I'll just stay there.
The next one.
Yeah, resolution 2022-109, resolution that authorizes the acceptance of $91,500.
Yeah.
Motion and a second. Discussion.
Well, we struggled. I never would get back with me, and I think finally last week there was a guy who said he'd get back Thursday and Friday. He did not. So I told Mr. I'd like to move with this pool guy. Had good recommendations. So it's I talked to him a little bit about it today about contract stuff. One of the things was the warranty on the material. He on his contract it said 1 year, but the factory is 5 years, and that's sealant. So I think we're in pretty good shape with this guy. And again, I got good recommendations. We are going to take some of the work to try to cut costs because a couple of my guys they can do the work. We're going to pull 5,000 toward this. And Mr. Martin's looking to pull some money also from our, I believe, which one is it, Mr.
The
Martin?
ARPA funding.
ARPA funding.
The recommended source for the city share.
we went from 700,000 to 91.5. That's a big difference.
Well, I want you guys to know I got an inspection from the health department the other day, and the comment said city pool is closed due to renovation. That's, yes, yes, sir.
Repair, we should open. The goal being to reopen for the summer of 23. I did want to say for the record, I'm recommending this as a single source contract for the pool repairs because, as you know, our normal procedure would be to seek bid. Honestly, we've been trying for over a year to get prices, and we've gotten some prices that weren't very attractive, and we had our engineer do a takeoff on it, and that was a much more extensive replacement, if you will. But we believe now with the input from the health department that we'll be able to pass muster and be a safe facility going forward. But it is being recommended that I believe it's justified, particularly if we want to make it realistic that we could have use of this facility in 23. It's the only way we would get it done.
And what's the projected savings now that we're going to filter our splash pad water?
I have to get those numbers. I don't remember them. I do know we use a lot of water.
The total cost, we do believe the total project cost will still be within $150,000, which would be $1 for dollar match with you for sure in the city.
So within 4 years, it practically pays for itself. 3.5 years.
Okay. Thompson and High Slopes seconded. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, the next item is appointments to the various boards. And I don't see, we kind of briefly talked about it, the water management, the Clewiston Water District. Check and see if he was still active on the board.
Yeah, I think I talked to David Davis not too long ago. I never heard back from him. He was going to.
We'll follow up.
The term isn't until 2024, I think.
Okay.
Philip's term's not up to 2024. And the minutes aren't online, so you can't see who's attending the meeting. Not.
We'll follow up and see if the current party is attending and what's
It's not having a commissioner on it. We don't get a report, like, you know. The first one is the Henry County Tourist Development Council, PDC. Commissioner Highslope. I think kind of has just.
I would like to retain that.
I think it
Okay.
makes
Yeah.
good sense to have Commissioner Highslope in that position.
Southwest Regional Planning Council. Greg Thompson is currently. He would. Okay.
But you're an alternate, so you want
Yes, I was
to
alternate.
you want to be the main person there.
Yes.
Okay. If there you've been going to the meeting.
Do we need an on that one, Randy?
yes.
Okay, while we're on it, then
I think it'd be a good opportunity for
Say it
Barbara.
again.
would
To
you
learn
be
about the
the
area.
alternate for the Southwest Florida League cities?
I will.
Okay. All right, Barbara.
After Greg, right? I'll be the alternate.
Or maybe did that one, so can step in there if it's good with everyone. Okay, the building board, have no problem staying there unless somebody else wants to do it.
Got it.
Okay,
Not
the
me.
16 County Coalition, Commissioner Gardner is the alternate for Henry County. Would continue that one, that would be great.
I think that Mr. Turner's always there, so there's not been an issue.
And Auditor Selection Committee was Commissioner Thompson.
Great asset.
I love the hazier. What it is.
Well, it won't come back up unless something were to happen for at least a couple of years. So
We have them for 2 with an extension.
3, I believe.
3.
3 years. This is the initial period, unless something happens. You know, they were to.
Then I would have to sit down with the auditor
Selection.
You sit down with
committee.
the finance director and I would there.
There'll probably be another process before we change auditors.
Mhm.
Okay, that's all that's on this list.
So you need a motion, I guess, on all of them, if that's.
So that we approve all of them as indicated. Discuss.
Okay, motion by Gardner, second by Slope. All in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Motion
As noted, some of these will be coming up at the January workshop, particularly one of the key points will be our development workshop, reviewing some of these large projects.
I don't have a date yet for that.
I'll poll the board members, but it'd be the Monday, I guess.
Don't forget, I think the Monday, the
The regular
16th.
meeting's on the 23rd, so
23rd.
probably the 30th. Does that work for everybody? Anybody having a conflict, I guess? Should have
I'm
asked.
sorry, what was the date?
January 30th, if that's a Monday at 5, unless somebody's got a.
We'll go on the 30th.
Okay. That's the date. Thank you.
Any other, you want to bring up any of the other ones? Only there's some specific you want to bring up at that workshop, if just email Randy before then so we can get information on it. Okay, monthly activity report.
Because after the first of the year, because I just think that these have, it's just so convoluted. Stuff and then not enough information. Then, you know, some.
This one sure is.
Okay. On the report, okay.
About that, actually,
That's the fiscal year.
Yeah, I called in and asked Randy if that was a mistake.
It's the fiscal year started October through September.
Right.
That's why we.
So it's actually really good to see the number increase like that for November.
City manager for the state of the city update.
Yes, Mayor and Commission. I will not read this entire report, 20 pages. I think I'd get fired if I did, so, or should. But it was my pleasure to again update the City Commission and the community. Going forward, I'll be making efforts to speak to civic groups and through our newsletter in January and other means from our website and social media, putting this presentation out there. But I do feel compelled to this, and that is included in your report is the 21-22 grant project summary by fund, updated. We've been doing that during the budget process, but I thought it relevant to include that with state of city for easy reference. The progress report on 22, what we accomplished or didn't accomplish during the previous or the current fiscal year. And again, it's an extensive list of things that I think we accomplished in all the different areas of responsibility that the city has. But we reported this out in several categories, and how could be accomplished in the new year coming forward and beyond in 23 and beyond. There's a few things that I did just for the public that is live streaming or will be listening in, document, in my opinion, for the community to keep up with a scorecard, if you will, of what's happening in the community. And just one in the first section, which is the section on emergency management, state of emergency events, and funding updates for those type of activities. The one thing I did want to point out, over the last 3 years, we've been able to update our emergency management plan. He's all having a hand of approval in it. We were able to accomplish both of those. It had been quite a while since either had been updated, but particularly the local mitigation strategy. That's critical in the case of declared events and emergencies. It's also very important for things like flood insurance application, federal eligibility for flood insurance, and so forth. It's a good thing we did, and we also, another good thing is we had updated disaster debris contracts that we had collaborated with the county and picked the same contractors at the beginning of last year, and significant damages in the coal. A lot of communities can't say that, but particularly in Hurricane Ian, we were able to jump right in and in my opinion, have a very efficient collection and disposal process for the disaster debris, particularly yard waste and related vegetative waste. We collaborated with the county on the disposal side. All of it has been taken care of, and we were able to do it within less than 60 days, which allowed us to be eligible for 100% federal reimbursement when things were in place, and particularly finance, and making sure that we do the proper documentation. Now, we haven't gotten a check yet, but Sherry's working really hard with the FEMA representatives, as are all the department heads, to try to make us eligible for the maximum reimbursement for all eligible expenditures. We're able to update our technology collaboratively with the county here, using some of the funding that was made available for us through this process. We made a good deal of infrastructure improvements and advancements in the year, some of which were paid for with ARPA funding, what we referenced earlier. Specifically, our advanced metering project that advances will be underway in 2023. We were able to do the Alvarez commercial water line infrastructure enhancements that have improved water pressure and fire protection capabilities in the downtown area of Clewiston. Do several other things to keep going with our equipment upgrades and replacements, and some of these extra funds we received made all of that possible. And particularly our technology in our vehicle, to see that soon when we schedule a open house. But I know newly elected Commissioner Edmonds had the opportunity to see it recently, and it's quite impressive what they're able to do now. We did do some additional equipment upgrades, and we set the stage for achieving potentially in 23, finalizing and getting approval once everything's in place for our accreditation efforts. We keep making progress towards that. The biggest achievement, though, we can't over time with all the emergency providers within the county that we deal with. This was a major achievement that had been on our radar for a number of years, and I congratulate everyone involved in making it happen. But that was also something that was showcased during the recent hurricane event when we actually became the lead agency for the county and some of our adjoining animal services saw a number of additional upgrades to their facilities. I think it's worthy of pointing out that much of the labor provided for the improvements of both facilities was done by the department staff under the leadership and in direct involvement of the command staff chief. That's a really good thing. With regard to the fire department, we were able to set up the pension operation. We have a really favorable report to reach the pension plan board meeting that you'll see details from in the next set of minutes when it comes out of that group. But we've got a very active board. They're very engaged and knowledgeable, and I've been very pleased with that effort. Also, that is all aimed at improving that these benefit enhancements that have occurred over the last couple of years really improve our chances of hanging on to the volunteers that we're blessed to have, because that cost would be significantly higher if we had to have a fully paid, full-time staff to provide that important service. We'll be considering acquisition of important emergency equipment, and we'll be looking at funding alternatives again in the coming year with regard to how to assess the cost fairly for citizens for fire protection services. As you know, $1.9 million in grant type funding and donation sources the city has sought over the last couple of years. We have now been approved for and received $34.7 million during the period. That is unprecedented, obviously, and the staff should be very proud, and the commission for all the efforts to make that progress on several of them. Some of the projects, major ones that are underway or soon completed, the C-21 Bridge project, fully funded, out to contract, underway. We continue to have regular meetings with engineers and contractor, and progress continues there with all of the agencies that we're having to follow suit with. In 22, we are in the process of completing the third phase of the I&I wastewater project contract for this year. That will be completed in 23. Stays on track. That's another important step to lengthen in the life expectancy of our current wastewater treatment water operations. We address key elements of our consent order that FDP had issued in 2018. We satisfied all of those requirements, and that consent order was released this year, which was a major achievement. Now our goal is to try to stay off of that list this year for a multi-year period until we reapply for expansion of the plan when we're successful in getting funding for that. The county completed the first phase of the Everglades wastewater force main project with the other funding soon to be awarded to a new contractor to complete that all the way to the airport site. The city applied for and received full funding of the water line project to upgrade fire protection capabilities within the same corridor. We were able to get into the federal budget for $3 million allocation for our wastewater treatment plant upgrade. It's estimated at $14 million. We applied this year for $11 million more from the state to hopefully fully fund that project. Any day we should be hearing the $3 million allocation, the status as Congress tries to wrap up their budget discussions in the coming days and weeks. We're very hopeful that we'll get the final word. Ballard for championing that effort, and we of course have already reached out to our new congressman who will be representing us in the new Congress in January. Congressman Franklin, Scott Franklin, made efforts to contact their staff and look forward to hosting him here in the not too distant future to visit our community. The Alverdale AMI project, we hope to far along in 2022, but we've been heavily on this particular project by the supply chain impacts and material delivery delays, but we hope to begin receiving major quantities of the meters early in the new year and wrap that up in 2020. Electric department has done a superb job in trying to better prepare us for resiliency during the hurricane events, and it was very evident with the minimal amount of outage time that Clewiston customers experienced for electric service that effort is paying off. I congratulate that department and leadership for doing a much improved job of doing pruning and trimming in advance of projects so that we can cut down on the number of lines and damages that are resulting. Other than we're very happy with the dike project being finally completed by the Corps. We'll be sending out invites for the reception and dinner that we'll be hosting for the Corps. I've sent an invitation today to the Colonel, inviting he and his staff to join us the evening before on January 24th, running HHD project. I was told today that they've been working on that since 2007, and now it's complete, and this community is a lot safer as a result of it. So that's going to be a really nice event. You'll all get information on that in the coming days. We also just found out that the scenic trail, the Lake Okeechobee Scenic Trail, or Lost as it's referred to, will be opening this month for the first time in over 2 years. That's a good achievement. We work very closely with the Corps to improve that area and get the project complete. The septic to sewer happening very soon, within days to a week, to complete that project, and those buildings will be off of septic tanks and on the city sewer at a full cost of it borne by the federal government. I won't read all of the different miscellaneous sidewalk projects we've got going, but we've got a number of those that are going to help with improving pedestrian and bicycle access to different areas, and more to come in terms of planning where some of the conditions have deteriorated over the years. We want to put more emphasis on that, as you agreed in the budget process, to make that a higher funding priority. We're very proud of the youth center facility that was renovated in partnership with U.S. Sugar this year. It was a great success, and I give credit's due. Hiring of a director of recreation and leisure services has been a blessing to me in trying to better meet the needs that the commission and community desire. But off to a really good start, and we really look forward to doing more in the next year. In that regard. We're able this year to renew the multi-year school recreation facility use local agreement that expired in 22. The coming to closure with another facility next door, planned for to begin in 23. And I just got information from the EDC that I shared a summary with the commission that we've got a third one that's going to be starting up hopefully in April. So good to see that kind of activity with the properties that are completely sold, and I anticipate we'll see even more before the year's out. One of the other big achievements I credit the commission for accomplishing this year, and provisions that were adopted, the action you took tonight, all of those things are major achievements and have been long desired, and I feel like it may need further tweaking, but we got something on the book, and now we'll be moving into the phase of mapping designations and final actions that allow some of these pin-up development projects to move forward that we're relying on those provisions. We have other to finalize that and have that brought forward for action in the near term. We also, Danny's expecting any day now to get the flagpole for the 27-quarter medium project. Did come in today, so that's good news. I know a lot of people have been watching that very closely. So, and that's funded by third party. The fair board provided the funding for that. we'll be moving to have the construction hopefully as soon as possible in 23. Parade that we're going to do along here in front of along West Ventura in front of City Hall and other properties in the area. We have sufficient funding, we believe, congressional appropriation and DOT funding for the and taking the next step. For the essence of time, I'll skip forward to development. As I mentioned earlier, now you've agreed to a workshop in January, early in the new year, where we're going to talk about the PUD approval request for the Clewiston North Marina project, the Clewiston 440 annexation project. You had related matters to those two big projects. We'll also continue stormwater initiatives, because we're required to meet certain thresholds by the state. And you heard the presentation recently at the workshop on the condition of our culverts that we rely on for a number of our streets that cross canals. Six ones we have here, that's very important because it can be a slow down new development proposals. More importantly, we're going to have to revisit the plans now. We just got them approved to incorporate the design of the new projects into planning. There's a number of other good things in there that are needed, but I did want to close by saying that you see the aggressive list of different things that we want to accomplish in 2023, many of which the Commission has chimed in on, things you wanted us to study. We plan for the new developments that are on the forefront of our planning effort. We will also be dealing with several of the other priorities items that you listed, but I do want to say that the increased private investment and private interest that we're seeing in Clewiston is encouraging. It increases. All of those things obviously can have how a lot of the things that we're seeing on the horizon playing out. But I do think I feel very optimistic that Clewiston's in a good position, and we're going to be ready if and when these projects go forward. And we're going to see, housing stock additions and other commercial and industrial opportunities that we haven't seen in 22 in terms of meeting priority goals and objectives and advancing the efforts to build a foundation for the sustainable quality of life into the future that we want in America's sweetest time. So with that, I'll stop and answer any questions, but thank you for your indulgence. I hope that gives a taste to those in the community that the city is doing its due diligence to plan and operate efficiently and affordably, and that we have an eye on the future of a lot of good things. I'm out of words.
That'd be the first
Yeah.
You mentioned two things, sidewalks, and I know we have just
Yes.
small repair or just a small section.
Yeah. In fact, Danny and I just had that conversation today about that very point. And one of his motivations in making a change in some of our scheduling on solid waste has a view to addressing that. Dan?
And that's what one of the things we're looking at is try to get more bodies. Got Mike Young, spoke with him this morning. I'll start marking these areas. So we're trying to juggle some guys around so we can start doing some repairs because we're well behind. We've got a lot of busted up sidewalks. So yeah,
I had a couple of people ask that.
we're just moving
Thursday
some
will
things.
not be changing. It's the Monday, Tuesday that we're trying to.
Yeah.
One thing I found out that Southtown doesn't get messages.
Here
Did they all call looking?
No.
Well,
They had
put
their
the cards
cans.
out.
Couldn't call, but cans were
So
out.
hopefully
So
that
Minute for people
It'll
to
take a
get a
while.
new
we
habit,
did a
you
lot of.
know?
We put it out there a lot of ways,
Okay.
but it's okay. We
What
picked
you do
it
on
up.
Sunday? Can you take your can to the?
put city resources to address them for safety reasons, if nothing else. And of course, enforcement too. We want to try to avoid people breaking them like they have on some of the.
Couple of pieces by the schools that we talked about.
Yep.
Too.
The second thing you mentioned, and Lauren, congratulations on a successful event. But a recreational activity calendar, so that the community knows what for setting up events for pickleball, or whether we're doing ping pong tournaments at the youth center, or
very hard time getting people to volunteer to run the leagues. Everybody loves the idea, but getting somebody to either say, yes, I'll be in charge of making teams, or yes, let's do that, is very difficult. So I'm hoping the more that I do in way of the tree lighting or the open house, getting things will get people more invested. But yes, that is definitely something that I have on my agenda, is to start putting out a monthly calendar. And I really want to work on the social media aspect of things and getting things put regularly on there. Right now, it's just me doing it as I can when I have time. I really want to start mapping out some time to create things and put and make it engaging where people can comment, they can vote, and like, and get people involved.
have we put that on social media that we're looking for regular
Yes.
members?
Yes.
And we've gotten a few, but we haven't brought it to you because we don't have.
I think we only have.
I think we
two.
only have. Is it 4?
I think
One
we
more?
just got a fifth one.
Oh,
Oh,
so,
perfect.
So
Okay.
we just got a new one.
Yes.
Okay, good. Hadn't heard that.
Be persistent.
Yeah.
People
But
are out there.
Yeah.
You gotta
Yeah.
nudge them.
It's figuring out how to get it in front of their face as many times as it is. But I've already started thinking about Easter and doing something with Easter bunny, maybe an Easter egg hunt. I want to actually. It was Mayor Pittman. He traveled to see his daughter, and it was for Halloween, and they had pumpkins hanging in trees, and it was so cool. And I thought, if we took that, made it like eggs of flowers, and it would be a way to still decorate the park, make the park usable, so families could come and take pictures. But then we have an Easter egg hunt, Easter bunny, school party, and how we can decorate the park for that, and do all kinds of things. Yeah. I've already started thinking about 4 things ahead.
Thank you.
That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? If not, so thank you for your support.
Thank you, Randy. That's a lot going on, and I'm glad you guys are on top of it. Any other departmental reports? And do you have anything to add? You kind of just did yours. You're good. Chief, you got any? I was at the park last night with my grandson visiting. just go out at any time. And there was more than 30 people in the park. And they heard the first serenade. A man was serenading his wife with a Christmas song. I mean, it's just packed. It's
That's
packed.
great.
Wow.
Church bus there last night,
Yeah.
too.
Oh, maybe that was why there were so many people.
Do the decoration of the park comes none other than Libby Williams, and her love of Clewiston and her hometown that we need to see us as the best that we can be. She was the motivating force to get this going. So again, Lauren, you talked about Easter egg hunt. You talked about end of school. I think that this shows that if we build it, they will come. And I think that huge kudos to Libby for what she did to get the start, because I think it's been an attraction for the community, and it's also creating wonderful memories for all the other folks she had helping her, but she had the gumption to get it started.
Awesome. Do you have anything else to add?
No, sir.
City Attorney?
Well, based on our discussion at the last workshop, we put together a first draft for an amendment to the existing store. Other than that, I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and I'm very excited for the new year. That's all I have.
And let's see, commission reports, Commissioner Gardner.
Just wanted to wish everybody in the community a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We're a blessed town.
touched on that was excellent. So thank you, Lauren, and Jean for all the hard work that you put into that. And I appreciate those efforts. I think we should acknowledge U.S. Sugar for running the Sugar Express and the Santa Express. I know I've been to see and ride that train. I think it draws a lot of positive attention for us. So I think that should be noted. I saw, I guess maybe in an email that the flag pole had come in, so I had that jotted down to, and then the Nutcracker. I don't know, residents, Glades residents as a whole, it was marvelous. It's our dance program, yeah, and Shop with a Cop seemed like it had a great turnout. The city luncheon was excellent. We've just had so Merry Christmas.
Christmas. Thompson?
The report that Randy read off, that carries a lot of weight. There's nothing but positive movement in the city. A lot of money spent, a lot of hard decisions, and serve on this commission with my fellow committee. Merry Christmas.
I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, and I am honored to be a part of this commission, because I'm seeing a lot of things going on and seeing how we're growing with recreation, and I've had a lot of complaints about there's nothing to do there. Adults, with their kids, and I see them taking pictures in the little sleigh. I mean, I just think it's amazing. I think it's something that our town needed for a very long time. Anyway, Merry Christmas.
Well, I echo the thoughts of all the commissioners and to say Merry Christmas and a wonderful, happy, prosperous New Year to everyone. Our town is blessed. We're moving forward. So with that, anything, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
And all in favor?
That's his.